Good day and welcome to Charge Talk. Diana Swick here. Charge Talk is all about everything in the EV space and electric vehicles. We're here at Porsche, located in Austin, Texas. Today's guest is Ellis Spiezia, one of the youngest American electric racing drivers making waves in the EV motorsport world. He's out here pushing limits, competing against top drivers from across the globe. Get ready for an inside look at the fast-paced, high-voltage world of EV racing with someone who doesn't just embrace the unknown, he thrives in it. Let's go and check it out right now. Cannot wait.
Let's do it.
Hi guys, how are you?
How's it going? Ellis.
Anthony. Yeah, nice to meet you. Welcome in, Anthony.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Porsche Austin.
For the people at home that may not know me as a familiar face, I've been in professional motorsport for about 5 years alongside the electric vertical that's kind of been brand new. And I was a gearhead before I was a driver, and growing up, you know, my grandfather raised me to love Porsche, and now, you know, with the Taycan coming out and we're seeing them being a little bit more common, what does this kind of mean for not only just the awesome specs that are in a machine like this, but just for Porsche to make this switch and what I see as probably the best move of a combustion car company going EV?
I mean, it's huge for us. Obviously, Porsche building cars for a long time. Obviously gas before this. They've gone through a lot of iterations of moving cars to different engines and different styles. So this is all new for us, but it's been exciting. They did a good job of bringing the Porsche DNA into an all-electric car, and people have loved it. So this is where we're at.
So obviously Porsche is probably one of the most known for some pretty insanely spec'd out cars. The newer 3RSs come to mind of just absolute beasts, and they've kind of taken the same approach with this. I mean, you were showing us earlier kind of the different models that you guys have, and they just get progressively more insane. So when it comes to this 4RS that we're standing in front of right here, what's kind of the spec range you're looking at?
Yeah, so the 4S model is kind of the sweet spot in between all of them. So this thing, I mean, you're talking mid 500 horsepowers. Porsche's pretty conservative with theirs, but I think it's super fast. You get instant torque in a lot of these ones, which you know all too well. You get a lot of driving dynamics that you would out of like a 3RS or something similar, but the weight in the car, I think Porsche did a good job of letting it lay down the power that it has and still feeling like a Porsche sports car.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's a professional driver, I tell anybody that when you get over that kind of 300 horsepower mark, even in a combustion car, it's more than enough to get into some trouble. So when you take the electric power delivery with anything over 400 horsepower, I say electric horsepower feels double. Anytime I've driven something that, you know, on the spec sheet like this is in mid 500s, that instant power and especially all-wheel drive and some of the best traction control I think I've ever seen for performance cars in general in the Taycan, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome. And my other favorite part about what Porsche does in any of our models is, you know, they make a car that entry level, and there's different horsepower ratings. And so we have this at mid 500s, but we have models that go all the way to 1,000 plus. So it's a lot of fun. They kind of make something for everyone, and that's kind of this specability, I guess you could say, where you different colors and options, and same thing with the motors.
Absolutely. So get to jump in. Have you ever been in a Porsche period, let alone a electric?
I've never been in a Porsche in my entire life.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean,
so
I've been super blessed to get to drive some of the Cayman models with the GT4 RS. But you know, Dad behind the camera, he took one of the Taycans out on the Autobahn when we were living in Germany, and to be in the passenger seat was one thing. I'm super excited to get to actually feel the driving experience in one of these, and I think it's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. A lot of fun.
Not a bad ride.
she's gorgeous.
Oh yeah. All right. Most stressful drive of my life.
No, don't put it out there. Most relaxing, most joyful, happy ride. Okay, let's speak the good.
And we're off and away here.
Yeah, man. So excited. Okay, so let's get right into it because you are probably one of the most interesting people I'll ever meet. In fact, on the way here, I kid you not, I was like, can I make up a handshake with you so that way when you become like Andretti status, I can meet up with you and be like, remember our cool handshake? Oh, I'm cool with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so that needs to happen before I leave you. Okay, nothing too crazy, just like, you know, a few extra slaps or something.
Just enough so that people know, that know what's up.
We go way back.
Yeah,
we go way back. I absolutely love the spirit of your platform. I remember before, I ever met you, I started looking at your website, looking at your videos, and you've got this fearless, renegade, ready with no hesitation vibe. So obviously, I don't know if you were like that, like coming out of the womb, or if that came over time, but where is this spirit of like fearlessness coming from?
I mean, I was an action sports kid growing up, so like BMX, skateboarding, you name it, like I was doing it. I was always, chasing speed, chasing excitement, and once I started driving race cars, I mean, that's kind of was it. Like I just couldn't get enough of the speed and, getting to feel like I'm leveling up, driving faster and faster. And
the adrenaline.
Yeah, I was the kid that was doing parkour at school recess, scaring the teachers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's always been in there of me to do the extremes.
So you're just wild.
Yeah, pretty much. That sums it up pretty good.
Have you gotten hurt? Oh, okay, before the racing, like when you were doing the parkour and all that stuff, did you ever get hurt, or were you pretty lucky?
I lucked out. I've been, I say like, I don't know. I've always been very, very mindful of like myself and my body, I think. I'm very good at calculated risks. I think that's what makes me a very good racing driver is, sometimes it's time to risk it for the biscuit, but sometimes you gotta know when to stop and when to, say, we're good here, this is enough. And then I'm always someone that I've been very calm under pressure in my time of anything I've done. So it's a skill that I personally try and work on a lot, is not necessarily, going over everything that could go wrong, just how can I be as calm as possible when stuff inevitably will happen.
So it sounds like you have a really good blend of bravery, confidence, fearlessness, but also you're thinking things through in the seconds before they happen almost.
Yeah, I mean, it's something it's a skill that you learn in motorsport very quickly, is keep your eyes up, right? And that's something that, it's something you develop that's very motorsport specific, of looking ahead, and it helps you everywhere. Riding motorcycles now, that awareness has been a huge help, and just, learning to be aware of what's happening around you, not just what's right in front of you.
Now, when we were in the Porsche dealership, you mentioned that a Canadian brand has sent you an all-electric motorcycle. So tell me about this.
Yeah, I'm on an ambassadorship program with Can-Am this year. Their brand new Can-Am Pulse. It's mine, I think, is one of the first in the US that's not a demo unit. So getting to represent them with a powertrain that I helped develop in a go-kart has been unreal. I mean, it's super surreal to have something that I put, a whole lot of long hours in on the racetrack, helping develop and move forward, to now see it as a production item. It's super special, and the team's been great. I've been loving getting to ride the bike, and it's also real quick, which also, as a racing driver, is important.
I love it. That's fantastic to be able to have a hand in developing a motorcycle.
Yeah, and like by proxy, not even like directly. Like we were always told when we were doing the stuff with Rotax, which is where the powertrain comes from, in their kart program, that it's gonna end up in something cool one day. Just wait. And waiting. 5 years later, same 50 horsepower motor is in that little Can-Am. So it's been super, super cool to get to go through that process and finally see it, pay off. I always joke with my dad. I said, if there's no bigger red flag than a racing driver that shows up on a motorcycle, I told him, I'm like, if you had a daughter and I opened the door, you'd slam it in my face. You'd be like, oh, really? Yeah, get out of here, dude.
Stay away from me.
Exactly. So,
oh God.
I like to think that I don't match what the image puts out when you roll up on a motorcycle.
Yeah,
so
you don't. You can tell you're not a bad boy.
It's pretty much like that was the last check on the list of every father's worst nightmare. So, we're going with it. We're rolling with it. I always say I was born in the wrong generation. I would have loved to be born in the 80s in driving a Pontiac, rolling up to high school. A few years ago, it would have been hilarious, but, I get to try and bring that vibe to motorsport now, and that's almost a little more fun.
There you go. You're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
That was my first car. I had Pontiac Grand Am was my first car.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
And she blew up on the side of the road, actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I had my first little taste of catching on fire yesterday.
yeah. So
This is like the pure life of a racing driver.
yeah.
They're like, oh, Saturday we're doing this podcast. I'm like, cool, we're gonna have a chill test day beforehand, I'll be ready. Car catches on fire, engine explodes, and then we show up here and just drive a Porsche.
It was not an electric vehicle, by the way, folks.
Yes.
Please let the record show.
Shout out to high revving, high RPM engines doing their thing and shooting pistons through engine blocks. That just it's just the icing on the cake. We couldn't have a smooth test day. But get to do some Ricky Bobby content now on Instagram, no
cannot
complaints.
wait.
That's what I told my mom and dad. I'm like, at the very least, this is fantastic content.
Yes.
So
Everything is content now.
oh, all right, thank you.
You gotta realize what you're in.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna let you
Everyone's
go.
gonna wait.
Everyone's gonna let this
I'm used
beautiful
to-
baby
I'm more
come
of
through.
I usually am like a $500 Honda Civic kind of guy,
Oh
so
my
this level of
gosh.
luxury is not what I'm used to. But
Well, get used to it.
I know, I hope so. I hope I get to drive more of
these. It's already yours.
I know
It's already
the blue
yours.
kind of matches the watch. That was kind of the goal. It was unintentional, but
You're there. You gotta
there.
just feel it.
We're going.
Own it.
Let's see. I have no idea where we ended up, by the way.
It's a beautiful neighborhood.
It
I'll
is
tell
great.
You what.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not upset with the scenery at all. Austin's just beautiful, honestly.
Oh, it's
I love
fantastic.
Austin.
Moving from New York City was definitely a culture shock.
What brought you here? Was it like opportunities for racing?
It was all
or?
Motorsport, yeah. So I spent 5 years in Germany. So we came right from Europe here. I grew up in Hoboken, New Jersey, spending a lot of my time in New York, doing my thing there. So that was definitely. This is, as a city kid, this is not the vibe that I'm used to.
Yeah.
But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Getting to go out and do stuff. There's a lot more to do around here. People are a lot friendlier.
Did you go to high school during all the racing and stuff?
I got my GED 2 years before I was supposed to graduate. Got out of there. I had never spent a day in a high school in my entire life.
What?
Yep. So I went knee deep right into competitive motorsport. So, yep. 14, turning 15-year-old kid, just, fresh as can be to the world of car racing, just doing his thing and learning as much as I could. It was an experience, that's for sure.
On your site, it says, while I didn't get into motorsport to save the planet, I'm leading the charge on initiatives across the sport and sustainability. So I love that you said that, because you're not some kind of poser that's like, I'm all about, sustainability, and that's why I got into it. Like, this was, something else for you. So what was, I know we talked about the adrenaline, but what ultimately led you down this specific road? Because I feel like adrenaline is a lot of things. You could have become like, I want to scale Mount Everest, right?
Yeah.
So what specifically got you into this niche sport?
I mean, we always joke, like, my mom thought I was gonna be in the circus. See,
Oh my gosh.
I used to do trapeze. I used to be, Olympic trampoline. So that side of things is my, what I'm used to growing up. And I think when it comes to, electric motorsport specifically, is we were in that from an access point of view.
Okay.
It was one of those that we didn't have the ability to do a textbook pathway.
Okay.
And so with electric, it kind of just became like spec series, everyone's in the same thing. And, let's give it a shot. I came out of a rental cart in an indoor shopping mall and got my butt kicked in Europe for a year.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard.
And then we just kind of kept at it and didn't stop pushing. And motorsport as a whole for me, I've been in cars my whole life. It kind of always would come back. And my grandfather, who was a huge Porsche guy, so we were talking about how, I grew up, before I was even a racing driver, I was, loving racing video games and anything with an engine that I could get my hands on.
Favorite racing game?
Oof, I grew up on Forza.
Okay.
That was my sort of jam. And then I don't know, I'm big into Mario Kart on the Wii. That was like early days.
Yeah.
Burnout Paradise City is the name of the first racing game that I ever played, and that was on an Xbox 360. Middle of Florida, just hanging out with my dad. But yeah, I mean, it's been super special to get to do what was in my 3rd grade yearbook. My quote in my 3rd grade yearbook was, I want to be a racing driver, I want to win. And
You did.
here we are doing it, so I couldn't be happier.
This is a gorgeous scenic
This
route.
road is awesome.
I need to capture this
Unreal.
before I ask you any more questions because it's just so, and you know what, it doesn't even look as good on the camera,
No,
right?
this is unreal.
Like you need to be here to, oh my goodness gracious.
That's a quarter throttle. That's nothing. We'll open it up at some point when we get.
Gosh. Not even trying right now either.
No, this
Like,
is my cruising pace right here.
Oh my God. And this beautiful sky, wow. Holy smokes, your parents are behind you like nobody I've seen.
Yes.
And it sounds like they have been behind you since day one, letting you, you know, explore a bunch of different things, not just the racing. Like you said, you were doing trapeze and, you know, whatever else I haven't even heard yet. So would you say when it came to what you're doing now, was there any hesitation on their end? Did they get nervous? Like, were they all in on everything? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, I think they can't imagine me doing anything else than this.
Okay.
So I think that helps. Mm-hmm. You know, they love it. I mean, they're more competitive on some race weekends than I am. They absolutely love every second of it. I love every second of it. It's perfect. I couldn't be happier with the support they give me. And, you know, my dad is not someone who should ever pick up like a mechanic set. But granted, when he's behind the camera, like he loves it. He loves filming me getting to do what I get to do. And then he also loves just, you know, being in it. And then my mom is my manager. That's super unique, especially with how far along in my career usually this is about, when you get, you know, someone else that does all that for you. But we've been a small but mighty team that I wouldn't have it any other way. I think we have great chemistry. We work super well together, and they love it.
you know, I saw an interview that you did where you were talking about doing a race where I want to say you came in pretty high up there. I don't know if you got number one, but you got at least like 2 or 3, and you were early in your career, and you were like on this high of like, wow, I did so well, and then you went overseas and like you said, you got your butt kicked.
Yeah.
What does that feel like to go from like this big high of like, I'm doing great, I'm amazing, I'm better than everyone, to it's got to be humbling, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into, really. Like, we had no idea. I thought, you know, oh, I won a championship at an indoor go-kart track. They do that just outside in Europe. It can't be that much different.
Okay.
We were dead wrong. It is the hardest competition you could possibly imagine over there, and it toughened me up beyond belief. I mean, I lucked out that I spent 4 or 5 years over there, and the driver that I became, pretty much having that, I would go home. I didn't talk to pretty much anyone else. Like I wasn't going out partying at night. Like I was in the gym. When I wasn't in the gym, I was driving, and then anytime I wasn't driving, I was back training. So those 5 years were really, really set the foundation of who I became as a racing driver. And so coming back here, just being a, you know, just pure, calm, collected, just menace out there, I think it was super, super beneficial for us, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. And any driver here knows that when you really want to step up what you're doing, you go and train over there.
Was it discouraging when you lost? Like, did you ever feel like I shouldn't be doing this? I should quit. I don't want to do it anymore.
Not really. I mean, it's one of those, in racing you lose a lot more than you win. It's not a team sport where if you're even having a bad day, your team can kind of pick up the slack. You know, it's not something like that. So in that sense, there's a lot more losses than victories. But I found that whenever anyone asks, like, I do a lot of times where I'll jump into a brand new car with no practice and just go out and do my thing. And they ask, well, how'd you know you could do that? Whether it was, you know, we were talking with some of the guys at the Porsche dealership, watching me jump 120 feet. And my answer is, it's actually a quote from the Cars movie. It's like, well, I just never really thought that I couldn't, you know? It was one of those that, like, anytime I stepped into a car, I never looked at a scenario and said, I don't think I can do that. It was always just, I felt like, you know what, I think I got this. So it's been super fun, and I'm looking forward to get to do more of that in the future, of just jump into new things and, you know, see how we do.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, overseas, their attitudes towards electric vehicles are super duper different.
Yes.
Like I feel like adoption is way more, you know, they are just all about it over there versus here. Can you tell me what you've noticed with the discrepancies, why you think maybe it's like that, just opinions, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a culture thing. Like when you look at countries like Netherlands, Sweden, they're super forward on EV mobility. So then the integration of electric motorsport is super easy because we're testing the stuff that's going to end up in the road, and that's awesome. It's great. I think over here, when it comes to motorsport, it's a different vibe. It's more of a show. It's less legacy over here. Obviously, there's legacy in some of the series, you know, that have been going for decades. But in America, they put on a show. And I think that with electric, not having that noise has been a huge part of that. It doesn't have the same weight, but it does open up a ton of cool opportunities for, you know, we saw with Nitro Cross with their electric category, they were attaching music performances and things like that to the motorsport because it was so quiet. That's where I think electric has a really cool opportunity to slot into a niche market where it's not necessarily diehard motorsport fans only, but people that just want to go to an event and have a good time.
So there were like musical concerts happening?
Yeah, they had live music at one of the events. I'm going to an event called Grid Life next month, and it's attached to a whole EDM festival. So it's gonna be super, super cool.
I want to go.
Come in Wisconsin, July 25th. Tag along. It's going to be a blast.
How do you feel about the future of EV and Ellis?
Yeah.
And where do you see your career in the next 5 years? Like, what do you want?
I mean, we're sort of figuring that out now. We're kind of deciding what the next steps are, where to go. I mean, I just want to be the kid that can jump into anything. That's kind of the goal of how can I be the guy that, whether it's off-road, tarmac, open wheel, Porsches, like we need to be able to just jump into anything and then cool content, build that fan base. Like that's the goal, is to just be able to have the same influence that the guys I grew up watching, you know, Ken Block, Travis Pastrana over the years when I was a kid, have that level of influence on the next generation of drivers.
So what are some of your favorite features of electric vehicles and the overall electric driving experience?
I mean, when you look at this Taycan right here, like the smooth power delivery is second to none. When you look at just comfortability of being able to put a crazy power plant in something, you know, that's kind of this like consumer grade car, that's awesome. And when you kind of look at the performance specs, it's pretty unreal. And I think when I look at the future of just a driving experience, it opens up a lot of, you know, quality of life assets that you lose with performance cars. So when you get to those high horsepower numbers, you kind of lose reliability, you lose that drivability that something like this is just super smooth, super easy and approachable. And I think just we need lighter weight, lighter batteries. Like if we can get the weight down, it's gonna be perfect. Like
It's coming too.
It's coming. It's just gonna take time. I say in the next 5 years we'll probably see a big jump, and after that it's just up from there. We'll see how it goes.
Do you think that the electric racing is going to get bigger and hotter and like and grow in popularity?
Yeah, I mean, it's as the EV car market grows and becomes more accepted, I think that's kind of what we're waiting on. With motorsport, it's just going to take time. We need to show them the racing's exciting, that the cars are fast. So when we look at that, it's just building trust over time, and we need to get new fans excited and stop trying to convert those die-hard old heads that, you know, are say in their 60s or 70s that grew up with screaming V8s and large motors. I think if we can really dial in to the younger generation and get them excited, that's gonna be awesome. And it's really gonna just up that fan base diversity that we really need.
And you've had some experience driving internal combustion vehicles, right?
Yes.
Like we know that yes, you're definitely an EV driver, but you have had experience with ICE vehicles. Will you tell me, is the Nitro Cross, are those internal combustion vehicles?
Yeah, so it was actually a fully sustainable fuel that we ran on, but they were, 550 horsepower, big turbo 4-cylinder, and they were a blast. We got to race them for a few rounds in Utah and in Richmond, and getting to drive those. The top category in Nitro Cross was actually electric, and they were 1,100 horsepower, just monsters. I mean, they were unreal.
1,100 horsepower.
Yeah, they can move, and they were super light. Like it was
scared?
No. I mean, I got to ride along in one of them. It was teed up that if the series kept going, I was probably going to get to be in one by this year. So it's unfortunate that didn't quite happen.
Okay.
But we're still here. We're still pushing to get up into top fights in motorsport. But they didn't do that for sustainability. They did that because to make it the fastest car possible, it was electric. 4 motors, 1 for each wheel. Like it was a true racing machine. It was really impressive.
I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna say maybe it's gonna come back around the way that Can-Am came back around.
Yeah.
In like a cooler, more exciting way that's gonna surprise you, and you're gonna be like, holy moly.
Definitely hope so.
I'm calling it right now.
Definitely hope so.
It's gonna come back.
Perfect.
Or something even better than that. And you'll say, oh, well, this is why this happened.
There's some stuff in the pipeline.
Okay.
We're working on some stuff. That's kind of where we're at. So, it's on the way.
Okay.
There's some stuff brewing. That's not quite Nitro Cross. It's not quite what it was, but it's gonna be exciting.
Okay. Is your personality the kind of personality that like needs a carrot in front of you that you're running towards, or is there something inside of you that's motivating you towards the next thing? Like, how do you operate to where you're just always moving forward and you've got this drive and you've got this discipline?
I'm just someone that enjoys doing the work. I enjoy getting to go to the gym at terrible hours at night. Like when I was in Germany, I'd go at like 3 a.m. I was just out today in Texas heat running with a weight vest on just to do it. Like I just love doing the work. It's fun. My parents definitely understand that type of work ethic in a sport like racing, where you can kind of pay your way in if you really want to, isn't as common anymore. It's kind of dying out. So, my strength coach in the States, I used to say in the States because when I was living in Europe, we'd always have to clarify that it's some dude in Jersey and not someone in there. But I've been working with him since I was 10 years old, going to that gym. And then when I turned and decided to race professionally, he jumped on doing super specific programming for motorsport to keep me in shape. And he did super high level hockey growing up, so he gets the athlete mindset. And he really keeps me in check of like, you better put in the work, because the only person you can really disappoint is yourself. And if you go out there and you're unprepared, that's on you. There's nothing that a faster car or more track time can do than just being fit, show up ready to go, and then, go out there and win.
Ellis, whatever you do, you're going to be really successful.
Thank you. We're trying. We're working towards it.
Well, I mean, I can just tell you're gonna go far whatever you end up doing. It's gonna be great.
It's kind of a rare thing to find something that you're this passionate about this early in your life.
Yes.
So in one way, it's a blessing that, I know exactly what I want to do, but then it's also one of those that then you sort of sacrifice the younger adult life, that sort of 16 to 19 range when I was in Germany. That was all work. So now definitely making up for a little bit of lost time living here in the US, getting to enjoy it a little more. But at the end of the day, I'd much rather be hanging out in the gym, working out, getting better, than getting wasted at some weird club on 6th Street here in Austin. So it's good though. It lets me stay focused and really enjoy just the career that we're setting up for me here.
I think it's so crucial as well that you had that early support from your parents, that probably kept you so on track.
Definitely.
Of like, okay, I have the freedom to explore what I enjoy. I've got their support to do that. And, you know, they seem like they're healthy, you know, motivated, loving people that probably provided you with such a great environment to thrive. So you were already just set up with so much success.
Oh, for sure.
So the blessings are just abundant.
Yeah. It's one of those, I was given pretty much the blank canvas to like, you want to do this? This is going to be all you. And just go. And I think they're happy with the passion and drive that I have. And so it's a dream team for sure. We're putting in the work.
Wow. It's incredible. You're so interesting.
Racing drivers are an interesting type. It's an odd profession that makes you a very certain way because it's still, you know, it's very safe now. Motorsport, it's still one of the most dangerous sports in the world statistically, and you're trying to, you know, sort of mesh with this machine that is very complicated, very, very temperamental, but that's the fun part. And so, you know, we're not all just pure adrenaline junkies. I just enjoy competition, and it just so happens that this is what I'm talented at. And so, you know, we're no complaints, get to drive fast cars for a living. That's not too bad in my book.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. Okay, so along the lines with the motorcycle, do they do motorcycle racing, and is that something that you want to get into? Because I could see that, and I don't want you to because I'm scared, but at the same time I could see you jumping into that.
Oh, for sure. We're gonna get into some two-wheel stuff at some point. We have some good friends. Gonna get my sport bike very soon, and we'll get on track in a bike. I think that's the next level up in speed. I grew up doing all, you know, the trapeze, the parkour, the BMX stuff, so I have good body control, and that's kind of the perfect blend of just speed and, you know, you gotta work a little more than you do in a car, that's for sure.
Wow. I'm gonna be crossing my fingers and like saying all the prayers when you get into that.
We'll do what we always do, we'll just figure it out.
Well, I think as long as you're also protecting yourself too, like you said, you wear a helmet, you wear the gear, and
it's
you're calculated.
Yeah, be calculated risk is the name of the game.
So what's immediately next after this? Where are you going?
So we're going to Grid Life in Wisconsin, that sort of crazy music festival event.
That's next month?
Yep, next month, July 25th. So after that, we are looking at, in November, driving here in Texas at Circuit of the Americas in Trans Am, TA2, so big old Mustang. And then, you know, we're gonna see what other stuff pops up. Who knows what we'll end up in, but I'm super excited. It's gonna be an awesome few months to end out the year. And yeah, we're taking any opportunity we get to get out there and go racing.
Wow. All right, folks, we've reached the end of this Charge Talk. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay updated on what's happening in the EV world. Thank you for listening, and take care.